Coverage now on the controversy surrounding a second strike on an alleged drug trafficking boat in September. The admiral, who the Pentagon says ordered the strike, is expected to give a briefing to lawmakers on Capitol Hill. There is a lot surrounding this story, so I want to bring in our Joe St. George, who is following it very closely, joining us live from the nation's capital. Joe, bring us up to speed. What new information could we learn today, and what have other reports been saying about this?
Well, there's just a lot of scrutiny of Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War, as he's referred to by President Trump, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, on multiple fronts today. We'll start with the boat controversy, right? This is about that early September boat strike of an alleged drug smuggling boat. There was an initial strike, apparently some survivors, and then a follow-up strike. It's that follow-up strike that's really the heart of this controversy here, because there's international law that says that if someone's shipwrecked, incapacitated, that they should be receiving medical attention, not further strikes. Now, if there's ongoing combat operations, if there's still a threat, that doesn't necessarily apply, but that's where the heart of this controversy stands. Initially, the Washington Post, which revealed this second strike controversy, said that it was Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth who gave that second order. That's why there's so much heat, if you will, on the secretary. But the White House and the Secretary of Defense have clarified this week, saying no. The secretary left after the initial strike. He wasn't a part of the second strike orders, and then it was Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley who gave that order for the follow-up strikes. And I know it's complicated, but this is a nuanced story, and the details matter here. Well, the Admiral will be on Capitol Hill a little bit later this morning. He's going to provide a classified briefing to lawmakers. Admiral Bradley has a lot of respect from many Democrats as well as Republicans, including Senator Mark Warner of Virginia. If Admiral Bradley confirms the account of Secretary Hegseth, that's going to take a lot of heat off of the Secretary of Defense. If, however, lawmakers leave that meeting with more questions than answers, the scrutiny will only intensify. I mentioned that there are multiple sharks in the water, if you will, for the Secretary this morning. You have the boat controversy, and then you have that Signal app controversy from earlier this year. Remember that one, in which the Secretary of Defense was communicating on Signal about military plans, Trump administration officials. At one point, a reporter was inadvertently added. Well, that final Inspector General report is expected to be made public a little bit later this morning. The Secretary says it exonerates him. Lawmakers who have read it already disagree. So we'll be keeping a close eye on the Secretary of Defense today. We'll see where all of these stories stand by our evening shows tonight, given the sizable military community in Hampton Roads. Aaron, I don't need to tell you this. A lot of people watching this closely.
They sure are, Joe, and I appreciate how you said the details are so nuanced. They really are, and that's why it's so important that we touch on all of them. So I appreciate that. It is 6:48.